Oh my God, we are back for yet another episode of Grindhouse Chic. As always, I am Robert Snyder, and I am joined by Matt Armstrong and Brian Baldwin. Guys, how has your week been?
Not too bad for me. It's been a terrible weather week, but other than that, pretty good.
At least you got your
Yeah,
your shipment in to keep you company in those cold winter nights.
I did, yeah. Well, the thing is, the day starts off cold. It's like 20, and then by the time the night comes, it's like 50, 60, 70, and then it goes back down. So it's just terrible. Pick
yeah,
one.
that's the way it is here. Everyone's just sick. We're all just constantly sick.
Yeah, I have a cold right now and it sucks. But I already mentioned that. You guys watch anything good this week?
I went
What
and
did I
saw
watch?
Ant-Man.
Yeah, I was gonna go yesterday, but I didn't feel like I should be in a crowded room.
Yeah, I need to see it again. Um, I don't know, man. I don't even know what to say about it.
Kang is one of my favorite villains.
Yeah, he was the guy playing him. What was his name? Jonathan Rhys Myers? Jonathan Rhys Myers?
I don't know whoever he is. He's also in Creed 3.
Yeah, he's awesome. Um
Which means two of the bad guy or two of the opponents for Creed are now in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and actually Creed is as well.
yep.
But yeah, but you dig into your February order yet?
Not yet, no. I wanted to go through the January stuff first. I want to try and do it in order and keep up. Falling pretty behind already though.
Gotcha. I have watched a few. I watched Glow, which I've seen before, and I don't think there's any difference in the features from the DVD to the Blu-ray. So the Blu-ray does look nicer. I also watched Double Exposure of Holly.
How was that? That was the one you weren't too sure about before?
Actually, it was really good.
Yeah.
It was really good. It had some good plot twists. But what it was amazing about it was the score. They got a pretty famous musician to do the music for that movie, and it just sounded better than most mainstream movie themes or soundtracks. Just this frenzied jazz that just played throughout it. And what else? What else? No, that was it. Those are the only two things I've watched so far. I was going to try to give Goodbye 20th Century a view at some point today or tomorrow.
That one looks pretty nuts, I think.
Yep, it's them going into some Eastern Bloc country and rescuing a movie from there after they saw how the other labels have been doing with them.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you guys think about the subscriber exclusive slipcase?
I mean, I think it looks nice. I'm happy for people that got it.
Do you think they should offer it for sale to non-subscribers?
It doesn't bother me that I'm not going to get it. I don't.
Yeah, fuck those guys, except you, Brian.
Well, I mean, shit. I think it's cool to offer something exclusively to subscribers. I mean, if a non-subscriber wants it, just buy it aftermarket. You know, it's what they do anyway.
When they initially released the 5-year 5 films, those were an exclusive offered to subscribers. Immediately, they were also available for sale to non-subscribers. I think you don't treat your subscribers as a tier system. The subscribers get it first, and if there are any left over, put them up for sale for the non-subscribers.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they will. Or it could be a situation where, they're really trying to sell the subscription, so they already had plans for this thing, and they're like, oh no, let's announce it as an exclusive. That's what I would do.
But it pisses off some of your fan base.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the last thing they should do is piss off some of their fan base.
Yeah, I feel like everyone. Well, the last time was the Invisible Maniac slip. I feel like there was a ruckus about it for like a week or two, and then everyone forgot about it.
I didn't order it. I missed out.
Yeah.
Do I think they should have offered it to subscribers as well? Yes. But
Mhm.
they didn't, so I'm not losing any sleep over it.
Right. Yeah.
Because I didn't take the gamble of what it was.
Mhm.
And in fact, how long it took them to put it out also made me think it was a joke. Joke was on me.
So I was gonna bring something up last week, and you just mentioned like a tier system, so it made me think of it just now. Um, did you guys hear about the new ticket pricing that AMC is doing with tiers?
Yeah, I did. I did.
What do you think about that?
I think it's
I'm gonna have to see like if it is in any way going to raise what ticket prices already are, then I think it's kind of bullshit. Now, if they start selling your premium seats at like the current rate and make lesser desirable seats a little cheaper, sure, I'm all for that. I don't think right now we need to give anyone any reason to not go to the theater. I think now we need to get people wanting to go back to the theater, you know?
Right.
I think it's going to blow up miserably in their faces.
Yeah, I did. The way that I took it from the couple of things I read was saying that the prices are going to go up, and
Oh well, shit.
the shitty seats will be the normal price seat that they are now.
I wonder how it's going to affect the AMC Stubs members.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I think we can learn something. Like I went to Best Buy yesterday, so I wanted to pick up Fablemans. And I was only going to do it because I saw on their app that it was $24.99 for 4K, which made me shocked because I have heard, as everyone's heard, that their prices have skyrocketed. I wonder if they have now faced blowback from that to where they are putting Blu-rays and 4Ks back at regular prices.
Yeah, it could be. That's out already?
Yeah, it came out Tuesday.
Jeez. Like that was in theaters like yesterday.
Yeah, it is because it was
Which film is it? I'm sorry.
The Fablemans.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
Yeah, I do have. I don't think I shared this with you guys yet, actually. And if I have, forgive me. But did I tell you guys that we went to a Barnes and Noble a few weeks ago, and they finally, now of all times, with us talking about the diminishing of physical releases, they have now finally in our location put a wall up for. There's one section that's Criterion, and honestly, the rest of it was pretty normie bullshit. But still, I was like, okay,
It's
made me happy.
I do think the tide is turning back to physical media. I think it's more important than ever that we own it because again, things get edited, things disappear, and then there are things you'll never see streaming. I actually started writing a screenplay the other day called The Physical Media Massacre. The tagline for it is "Physical media isn't dead, you are."
nice.
And it's about this guy who gets his collection stolen from him. And he's upset. And for some reason, the ghost of Quentin Tarantino starts visiting him and saying, "You have the power to get it back. The police aren't going to help you. You have learned all the moves from all the movies you have watched." So he goes and gets hypnotized. And like on Chuck, he starts remembering all the moves that the Bruce Lee, Chow Yun-fat, Jet Li have taught him. And he goes on a mission of vengeance.
When are the auditions taking place?
I don't know. I got actually. I wrote the synopsis up yesterday. Now I got to start writing the script.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it's kind of going the other way. I saw one of the big distributors in the UK called it quits. I think it's called BFI.
HMV. No,
It's definitely 3 letters.
I think it's HMV Classics. I saw that on
Okay, yeah, that's what
Elliot's channel.
Yeah. So
it
that's
just
kind of surprising.
not really. Why
Yeah.
were they? It's cheaper to sell other people's discs than produce your own.
Okay. Oh, so that was just like a store kind of.
It was a store. It was a store exclusive, I believe.
Oh, okay.
HMV is a chain over there, and they have some here and in Canada. Home music video, but I don't think the British Film Institute is going to shut down unless they start licensing their stuff out to 88 Films and do a partnership with them.
I'd be down with that.
Yeah, but I don't have a region-free player, so I will never ever get any of that stuff. The Brits should take a page from
Saying
the
something advert. Oh,
all right. The Brits should take a page from the Australian and make everything region-free.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Brian?
I seen something advertised on Facebook just talking about physical media stores. I guess they opened up a new one in Canada. I think it's called Eyesore. Eyesore Vid. Did you guys see that? And they had
Nope.
oh, what's his name from those a lot of those Seth Rogen Jay
Birchall.
shit, I can't remember his yeah, but
Yeah.
anyway, he was like a guest clerk at the store one day and stuff, and that seemed pretty cool. They definitely had, you know, the type of stuff that we purchase. Go Canada.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of great video stores still in this country. In Seattle, there's Scarecrow Video, which sells an amazing array of Blu-rays, 4Ks, and DVDs from around the world, and their video VHS library is second to none. And since their tree is a nonprofit, their store has been able to remain open, even after most video stores have shut down.
Why are they a profit?
Because I believe the owners were facing bankruptcy, and this was a way to save the store, because it's kind of a museum that you can rent stuff from. But yeah, I used to shop there all the time. That's when I picked up the Blu-ray of Battle Royale from Arrow, and Dawn of the Dead from Arrow, and Day of the Dead from Arrow. It's funny.
Pattern here.
It's funny. Are you guys on the boutique Blu-ray subreddit?
Mm-mm.
It's pretty interesting. I always find it weird. First of all, I'm always happy when somebody gets into physical media collection and they say, "I just got my first Arrow video today," and all I want to respond is, "You bought the wrong one, buddy." And then also people, much like in the Facebook groups, "Hey guys, here are my purchases. What do you think about them?" You spent your money. Good for you. You're supporting a company. But I'm not going to tell you which movie to watch. You should figure that out on your own.
Yeah, I see those a lot.
It's like a lot of people are just needy and want to brag about the size of their pecker. And by pecker, I mean how many movies they bought. Which makes me wonder. All right, before we get into our conquering our collection picks of the week, do you think some people just buy this for clout?
Yeah,
I would say
100%. I speaking on this, you guys might know more about this than I do. I'm not really. I have items that are autographed. I personally prefer to have something like personalized to me in person, you know, if I'm going to do that. Did you guys happen to see the post the other day where it was in the Vinegar Syndrome collectors Facebook group, and someone had their copy of Nightmare Sisters for slip, and it looked like they were trying to get all the Scream Queens from the film to autograph it. And this guy was upset. Now, I guess there's a couple of parts to the story, but he already had Brink Stevens' autograph on it, and he had just gotten Linnea Quigley's. So apparently he spent $50, sent the slip off to Linnea with a pen, a specific pen that he wanted her to use, and apparently had told her where he wanted her autograph. And apparently she just said, fuck it, and, you know, did her own little thing, and he was upset about it. number one, I had zero idea that there was like a strategy to getting shit autographed and like color of the pen and things of that nature. But two, it kind of made me, if I put myself in the position of these artists and someone was intentionally, because to me this screams, I want to sell this later. I don't want anything on it like, oh, thanks, Ronnie. Love Linnea. You know, nothing like that. It's like, I want your fucking name stamped specifically right here and use the gold pen. And I don't know. It rubbed me the wrong way. I thought it was kind of gross. But again, we are not here to judge who, buys what.
I saw that post. I judged it. I thought the guy was a whiny bitch. Now, he was right because he did pay her $50 to autograph it. She should have done what he requested.
Right.
But still, what do you expect from somebody who's on the fringe of the entertainment industry, who will do whatever they want? I think I don't think she liked what she was being told to do, or she had a whole stack of autographs.
Trash doesn't sign anything anyway, but my own way.
Speaking of Linnea, quickly, I did watch Thrust from Culture Shock. It might have one of my new favorite lines in movie history. Sorry, Roadhouse. This one's a close second to Roadhouse. When this one dude is, after he blows his character named Dirtbag Mike, he says, "Your cum tastes like armpits and garbage juice."
You've never heard that before, huh?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I have. In the text I share with your wife about you.
Oh, that's why she's been calling me Robert.
Funny though, I did watch Thrust, and man, I really wanted to like that movie. I didn't hate it, but I really wanted to like it. But the movie made no sense. But it was interesting that the only people who survive in the dystopian future are not the brightest people alive. Everyone's a punk. Everyone does drugs, and men are slaves.
It seems to be the way that usually is.
I just want to know why everyone's a punk. And I also barely recognize I barely recognize Misty Monday in this movie. She's all tatted up.
Let me see who this lady is.
She starred in a lot of not porn, but erotic movies. I think like the Bear Wench Project.
Okay.
Classics like that.
A lot of simulated sex. Her real name is Erin Brown, and she did an episode of Masters of Horror that the guy who directed May directed, and she was actually really good in it. I thought she could have had a good mainstream career, but she did not. She did not. But the soundtrack to Thrust is amazing.
I don't even. It's on Letterboxd.
Are you going to start adding her movies as more movies you want to watch?
Just wanted to see who Misty Monday, who's not in porns, was.
She directed. She was in a lot of bad movies. A lot of movies that at some point Vinegar Syndrome or Culture Shock is going to re-release, and everyone's going to go, brilliant. So let's talk about conquering our collection. Brian, you go first since you misunderstood the homework assignment.
So I opened Hellraiser 2, but I wasn't supposed to watch it, right? I watched Hellraiser 2.
Okay.
Nailed it.
Yeah. That one's done. I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. I just kind of sat there the whole time like, okay.
It's basically a retread of the first one.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. There's yeah,
But I still
not a tremendous amount of content in it, really.
I still enjoyed it. I actually prefer Hellraiser 3 to Hellraiser 2.
Okay,
Because it suddenly becomes
well that is the next one for me.
it suddenly becomes a bonkers film. Up until this point, I had never seen any of the Hellraisers past one until I got the red box. And I had a good time with them. I mean, when I saw it originally, I thought it was boring, but they're actually really creepy films. Like if I suddenly,
Well, I'm excited for the third one for sure.
it's more campy. It's more campy.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, what is your conquering your collection pick of the week?
I went in a real weird direction here. Actually went back to an old DVD that I still had sealed. I actually looked it up just to make sure I couldn't sell it before I opened it. And saw that it was worth about 75 cents. So I went ahead and peeled the plastic off.
Okay.
It is from 1977. It is a Jim Henson holiday classic. It is Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
Okay, how have you never seen that before?
I have no idea.
I've never watched that.
Yeah, no idea. I think I saw it a long time ago at
Well, so you think you've seen it before?
Oh no, I'm saying like when I bought it, I think it was at a Goodwill or like some kind of secondhand store, still sealed up. Um, and just grabbed it. My wife's mom is. Have you guys ever seen Creature Comforts?
No.
It's kind of like it's the guy who made Wallace and Gromit,
Ugh.
but he does like a 12 Days of Christmas kind of thing with a bunch of animals. And I saw this and was like, oh, I wonder if that's like similar because it's a Christmas thing. And it wasn't similar. It was all puppets, which I should have known from Jim Henson, but it was like a real nice watch on this cold weekend. Um and I think it might become part of my like little Christmas rotation. Um
Oh.
Nice.
but it's really just about a little band of, or not a band, but a little family of otters, a mom and a son, and the dad otter passed away and didn't leave him anything. That's not even funny. I don't know what I'm laughing
I was gonna say, it sounds like a real riot.
at. But so they're like poor and they do little odd jobs to make ends meet, and then the town announces a town talent show with a $50 grand prize. So they each enter it unbeknownst to the other, and they sell off an item that the other uses to make money. So they end up both losing. So now they have no fame, no money, no way to make money, and there's a little Christmas miracle at the end that saves the day.
Well, that's really sentimental of you to make that your pick of the week.
Yeah, it's just kind of. I was like, you know what? It's short. I'll pop it in.
Oh man, I did something similar. Actually, I did this a couple weeks ago because I was going to watch one of the movies and never got around to it. On DVD from the Roger Corman collection from Shout Factory, the four nurses films. And I wish I looked at how much it was because I probably wouldn't have cracked it open because it's been long out of print. And I watched one of them called Private Duty Nurses, written and directed by a guy named George Armitage, whose most famous movie was Grosse Point Blank. This movie is 1 hour and 20 minutes of. All right. It was more of a social commentary than it was a sexy nurse flick. It dealt with racism. It dealt with PSTD. It dealt with sexual harassment. It dealt with what else to deal with? I'm sorry, I need to go back to my notes. Woman power, the destruction of the environment, all while disguising itself as a nurse-ploitation flick. It also had sleazy landlords who bring their new tenant, who brings one of his new tenants to his waterbed, and then describes creepily that if you've never been on a waterbed before, he knows how to make it better. Drug smugglers and motorcycle racing injuries, and a lot of boobs. It also has a lot of boobs.
They just thought they'd slam all that in the one movie.
In a very short movie, an hour and 20 minutes. Now, what's also interesting about it, one of the actors in there is Herbert Jefferson Jr., who played Boomer on Battlestar Galactica, the original series. And I met him several years ago at a comic convention, and I asked him a question. It's like, were the producers of that show kind of racist? Because all the other characters were Apollo, Starbucks, Commander Ty, and your name is Boomer. And
what did he say?
He just shook his head and told me to get out of line. But no, it was a really enjoyable film. It was I didn't mind the social commentary. I liked the pace of it. I liked the message that it was trying to send, and I was actually surprised of some of the actors in there. One, Paul Gleason, who later would appear in The Breakfast Club as the principal, was a doctor who was trying to cure a patient from killing himself, who just got back from Nam and was suffering from PTSD. Though back in the movie, they didn't call it PTSD. They called it trauma. But I would love for Shout Factory to put these out in either 4K or Blu-ray, because I think a lot of the Corman stuff, like the stewardess stuff, the teacher stuff, and the nurses stuff, needs to be out there, and it shouldn't be out of print.
Was the landlord more or less creepy than the one in Boarding House?
Man, just about the same.
Okay.
Just about.
I got a good gauge on it then.
Yeah. He when he meets the girls and shows them the pad, he's like, "Hey, come on out tonight. I'm going to be at this bar called something something." They show up. He brings a girl back, and his method of seduction made my stomach churn.
Was he meditating Indian style on top of his desk?
No, that would have made it better. But there was one scene I really liked where the girls were discussing how to break up. There was only a 2-bedroom apartment, and the two white girls were talking about how they should flip a coin of who gets the solo room. And the black girl says, "What about me?" Or the black girl says, "What about me?" And she's like, "Well, you're not sleeping with a white girl would be segregation." And then the other white girl says, "But if we don't let her flip as well, then it's discrimination." And I was like, huh. This movie was woke before woke.
Very. I gotta see all this stuff.
Yeah, but now the Blu-ray's the DVD's long out of print, and from what I understand, it's going for some good money.
I can rent it for $3. Go ahead and add that to my watch list.
I think I'm going to sporadically go from some of these nurses movies, because I don't know how to watch them the next 3 weeks in a row. I just can't do that to my brain. But let's talk about the movie we are gathered here to talk about. Let's talk about Frostbiter.
Let's.
So I will read the description from the Vinegar Syndrome page. All right. Long ago, the mighty Wendigo was defeated and buried in a secret place, known only to a select individual tasked with protecting this unholy ground, lest it be revived from the grave. When two arrogant hunters, Gary and Dave, stumble upon the Wendigo's final resting place and kill its elderly protector, they unknowingly revive the ancient demon, which gorily dispatches Dave. Taking refuge with another group of hunters in a nearby cabin, the posse are set upon by all sorts of ghoulish creatures, not the least of which is the Wendigo itself. Meanwhile, a young woman named Sandy begins to experience visions, telling her she must now kill the Wendigo. From the snowy hills of Michigan, Tom Chaney's Frostbiter, aka Wendigo, is a highly ambitious indie horror gem which inexplicably remained nearly unreleased, save from some local screenings for the better part of a decade following its late 80s production. Featuring clever use of miniatures, highly stylized camera work and editing, frequent gore, and loads of wintry atmosphere, Vinegar Syndrome is overjoyed to at last debut this folk horror infused regional creature feature on Blu-ray, newly restored in 2K from its 16mm camera negative, and bursting with extras that are sure to rip your head off. That's a pretty accurate description.
Pretty
So,
accurate.
Let me go into the plot. We open up in the deep, dark past of northern Michigan, where someone is fighting the Wendigo and imprisons him in a cabin and remains there for God knows how long. Flash forward to the late 1980s. We have our two dumbass hunters who are drunk and think they can do pretty much anything, stumble upon the cabin and shoot the guy for no reason, thus unleashing the Wendigo. We then catch up with another group of hunters on the island. Now, it is an island. Another bunch of hunters on the island who are having a good old time, drinking and telling stories, getting ready for their hunt tomorrow. He comes in there and warns them of what's going on, and they don't believe him. One guy then says, "I'm going to make some chili," and he starts eating makes the chili, and creatures come out of it to a song called "Chili," sung to the tune of Prince's Kiss. We then we then cut to another part of Michigan where we have this woman in her bedroom receive visions, and she is told to go to the island immediately to stop the Wendigo in its tracks. She only has 2 days until the sun rises to do it. We then see our hunters mercilessly killed one by one until there are only a couple left. Oh yeah, and we learned the bonehead that caused all this is also a doctor. Eventually, the girl gets there. The weather, because of the Wendigo, the weather starts getting out of control, and in the end, they stop it for the time being. I really enjoyed this movie, but man, there are so many plot holes in it. Did I give a pretty good synopsis of it?
I think that about follows it along, yeah.
Yeah. It's just chili. No onions. Oh God. Yeah, I really, really like this one. I actually liked it even more so upon a rewatch. I think it's gonna throw I think people might get thrown off a little bit by, at least I know I did. On my first time watching, I was like, what is with this music? Like, because it is very much not buried in the background. It is in your fucking face with a lot of moments where everyone's screaming and you got this chaotic, music in the background, and it's very messy, but like there came a certain point when I was first watching it where like, okay, I'm kind of falling into that. Like I don't know. Anyway, when I watched it the second time, I found it to be so much more like, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. Like it really, the music almost is like a character of its own, and I found myself wondering like if it wasn't in here in the way that it is, would I be having as much fun with the film? You know, because I think part of it is just how chaotic it is. You know, um, I thought it was wonderful. But yeah, I am excited to hear people talk about what they think of the style of this film.
I thought it was Evil Dead basically done on a lower budget. And I mean, based on the poster that felt Evil Dead 2 poster that felt so out of place in the hunting cabin, you could tell like they were bowing down to Sam Raimi. Like it was, you did this, we can do this too.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to go. This movie is based on a comic book from Caliber Comics, I think defunct comic book company that was located out of Redford, Michigan. It was run by a guy named Gary Reed. They had a lot of really cool properties like Baker Street, which was a female Sherlock Holmes in the future, Dead World, which was a really good zombie story done decades before The Walking Dead. Their most famous property was The Crow. And then I believe this was 3 issues, and I went looking for them in whatever comp box on any of my comp boxes, and I just was too sick to continue looking through it. I remember buying them because there was a Wendigo in Marvel Comics, and I was interested in the Canadian Bigfoot. And I don't remember the comic at all, and I have no idea if anyone from the movie had anything to do with the comic, but it is now my second favorite Caliber property that was turned to film, The Crow being the first.
Yeah, so that's why last week I said I compared it to a Bigfoot. I was basing it off of off of Marvel's Wendigo, but it is not a Bigfoot at all.
No, it's a little bit more demonic. All right, going back to the music, they have Ron Ashton, one of the founding members of southeastern Michigan's premier rock band, the Stooges. How the fuck did they not get him to do any of the soundtrack?
He did actually. I was watching some of the special features. I didn't get to watch them all, but there was a point where Lloyd Kaufman was talking about how he did some of the guitar in the title track, which I'm assuming is what we get over your menu screen in the movie.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't remember the title track. I just remember the Chili song.
Yeah. It's hard not to remember the Chili song.
And the best thing is they did 2 versions of it to two different background sources of music. But what's really interesting about this movie is none of this would have happened if Ron Ashton's character wasn't drunk and wasn't excited to get hunting a day earlier than they were supposed to. And then how in the hell have they kept this cabin hidden when hunters come there every year? I'm surprised this isn't a yearly occurrence of the Wendigo getting loose.
Yeah, especially for like, so the guy writing the letter at the beginning, or his journal or whatever that was, said it's been like nearly 100 years. Like he looked like he was 50 in that opening scene. So like, what's going on there?
You age slowly when your only job is to guard the Wendigo.
So is that, I was gonna say, is that like a couple of times they talked about the powers of the Guardian, which kind of seemed just like very few like Jedi powers, almost like long life, a little bit of lightning and some like a force ghost.
What yeah, all right. What really got me is this girl should have been training her whole life for this position. She shouldn't have just been awakened by the ghost of the guardian. And all right, you live pretty close and you seem cool enough to do this job. Get over to the island right now. Why couldn't the ghost teleport her there?
I was gonna ask if there was something that I just happened to miss with why this poor girl. Like there's no attachment to anyone, right? Like she's just the chosen one. Okay.
She lived basically close enough to the closest airport to get her to that island.
And I think more confusing about it is that she has this visit from the ghost with all this story, and in the morning she's just like, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah. You know, I do wonder what they were thinking with the ghost of the old guy when he's visiting her, and we see it a few times in the film. He's just like wrapped in a white sheet kind of a thing. Like it just looks so stupid and weird, and like what exactly were they trying to go for with this?
I'm gonna guess for lack of budget.
Well, sure.
But
they can afford a chili monster, for God's sakes, Robert.
The best thing was how drunk all those guys were, and they were taking it all in stride with a little freak out here and there. My favorite part though was the things they used to pad the movie's time. The news reports that seem so fucking stupid.
Yeah, the news reports were confusing me about when this movie was supposed to take place, because I mean it has like an 80s look. And then those news reports, it was like back in the 60s it looked like, and I was like, are these old news reports?
No, it took place in the 80s.
Yeah. And I don't blame you for thinking that either, because I actually had the same thought. I think what makes it confusing is the pilot that brings the girl to the island apparently saved some hunters back in the 60s. And I think you said specifically 66. So it kind of leads you to believe these black and white news broadcasts are like, oh, this is like a flashback kind of a thing. Then you're like, no, it's not at all. It's just, it was weird.
Well, just to give you a historical perspective, some people in the late 80s, like grandparents and great uncles and aunts, still had black and white TVs.
Yeah. I mean, I had one in the hospital.
But
it was mostly just like the dress and the microphones they were using looked very 60s, and I don't know, it was throwing me off.
I bet you it was anything they could get from the U of M film school prop department. But it was I really liked it. I had so much fun watching it. I don't know how people can't like this movie. It's certainly better than Winter Beast. Sorry, Brian.
I'll watch that.
I don't disagree. I think they would pair well together. I would say that.
Yeah, someone mentioned that to me on the Vinegar Syndrome group. And then I had to disappoint them by saying how much I hated Winter Beast. But
I had a question about something that came up in this, and it's reinforced by seeing people kind of I saw people talking about it on one of the Facebook groups at first, just in comments about something, or it might have been Twitter. And then I was like, that's weird. Why are they bringing that up? And then there was a line in the movie that Ron Ashton said, where he said, "What in the Sam Neill is going on here?" Is there
and catch that
story to that? Because there's a bunch of people saying like all this stuff about Sam Neill all of a sudden.
Yeah, I don't remember that. What I did think while watching this was they had a missed opportunity to have the Wendigo say to Ron Ashton, "Do you want to be my dog?" Which would be one of the greatest references to a Stooges song.
You probably said, "Do not bring my band into this."
The Stooges had been disbanded for probably about 18 years by the point this movie was made. Iggy was on his own. He was having his lust for life. And Ron Ashton was a studio musician making shit movies out of Michigan. And I'm not saying this is a shit movie. Again, I really enjoyed it. Really had a lot of fun watching it. This movie is one of those perfect hangout movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
When people come over, this is what you show them. They'll either like it or hate it.
Did you find out anything about that song, Brian? Were you able to?
No. So I actually I did find the director on Facebook, and I had written like nothing overwhelmingly long, but a pretty good message, because I was including like why I was asking, and I was explaining our channel and stuff, and said, hey, the episode will drop here probably in a couple of weeks if you're interested in hearing our thoughts on your film and just stuff like that. And then like as soon as I sent it, it was like, your message cannot be delivered because he doesn't accept messages from people who aren't his friends. And I'm like, well, I'll just send him a friend request. Nope, can't do that either. So yeah, I guess I'll just have to throw the movie on anytime I get an itch to hear the songs.
So I also discovered he's no longer with the Michigan Film Institute. And again, on Instagram, he doesn't allow messaging. So I think we might need to track down some of the actors to get a message to him if they still keep in contact. Ron Ashton is dead. As much as I would like to reach out to him and have him as a guest on the show, I will. I can't do it unless we have a seance a la the movie Host, but we don't want that to happen over Zoom. We don't. I
was gonna say maybe he could maybe visit us in a white sheet, and, make us the chosen ones to spread the word of Frostbiter.
Look, as anytime that someone says, Robert, you're the chosen one, you have a lot of work to do, I'm like, no, you got the wrong guy. I am way too lazy to be the chosen one. Especially on that short notice. Sure, the world could go to hell, but my neighbor down the road is much braver than me.
Yeah, I think this was a good, obviously one I've never heard of before, but a good movie for them to put out. Good blind buy, I think, for a lot of people. I don't know if it's something. This one's a Troma movie, isn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
So yeah, I guess maybe it does have some following already. Then
I got a little sick when I watched the Team Troma promos on the extras.
Why?
I don't like Troma. I don't like Lloyd Kaufman. He's a dick.
Yeah, I haven't seen many. I remember seeing like Romeo and Juliet when I was in high school, and then I think I saw the Toxic Avenger once or twice, maybe. I did see that whole set's getting like a 4K release.
Yeah, I have no desire to spend my money with Troma. I'm so glad Vinegar Syndrome isn't releasing it, because I would be pissed. And I like the Toxic Avenger. I like the first one. I think the other three are crap. And then I thought the cartoon series was just crap as well. But yeah, I'm not excited. The last Troma movie I bought was the James Gunn, and the woman who played Pam on The Office used to be married, and they co-directed a movie called Lolly Love. I picked that up on DVD, and that was the last Troma product I have ever bought.
How was that?
I don't remember. I was in love with Pam at the time. She could do no wrong. And I was jealous of James Gunn.
I think we all had that stage.
Yeah. All right. So I want to talk about one of the extras on there when they played the premiere. I had at the movie theater that they showed it, I have seen so many good films there back in the day. I have seen The Legend of Feng Sayuk and the Swordsman 2, which are two of my favorite Jet Li movies. I had also seen The Naked Killer, Hard Boiled, Chungking Express, Slacker. God knows how many movies in that theater. To me, it was great. But watching the old footage, there was a store next to it that my mom would take me to, and we would go there to buy clothes, and we drove the 40 minutes to Ann Arbor just to do that.
So you grew up in Michigan.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am as Michigander as they come. But all right, how many Wendigos would you give this movie?
I'm gonna go 4. Thought it was a super fun movie. I could see myself watching it again, and like you said, watching it with a group of people over here. Loved the kind of Sam Raimi homage that it was. I felt like those scenes were probably the best ones in the movie. And watching this really made me miss like miniatures and claymation and stuff. I do really miss those times. I hate just green screen everything now, as I was in front of one.
Are you a fan of Ray Harryhausen?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, Brian, how many Wendigos would you give this movie?
I'm gonna go just slightly higher. I'd go 4.5.
Okay.
Yeah, it just everything about it was so much fun to me. And like Matt just mentioned too, I loved the claymation stuff in it, and there's moments that are super dumpy looking, but it still just looks so cool. Where like the Wendigo will grab a body, like throw it. It just, I don't know. It's a great time. It does. I am excited to show it to friends. I mean, I had a blast watching it with my wife. I had a blast watching it by myself. I can't wait to show it to more people. Um, yeah, solid recommendation. 4.5, I think.
Are you upset? All right. Are you more excited to show this movie to friends or let my puppets come to friends?
I'm more excited for Frostbiter.
Okay. All right. So before I give my score, I have to say there was way too much acid wash in this movie, and I'm pretty sure the acid wash genes made people dumber because all these characters were idiots, and I don't know what was scarier, the Wendigo or the acid wash. But like Matt, I would give this one four Wendigos.
Nice.
But again, it was a fun movie. I thought the premiere footage was pretty good of how they all came in the same limo, which just went around the block, picked people up, and brought them up front. I liked the happy hour they had, or dinner they were having afterwards, where they gave the director an Academy Award for Best Picture. I thought it was fun, and this is what filmmaking is supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be You're supposed to make a movie that people want to see. And I'm really upset that this movie was basically lost, that it wasn't in circulation for forever. And again, this is why physical media is so important, to get movies like this in front of people like us.
Mm-hmm. Were you guys surprised to see this was from 95?
I thought from the late 80s.
So, yeah, same. And I looked it up afterwards to see more about it, and it said 95, and I was like, what?
No, I'm not. Again, the acid wash kind of gave it away.
Yeah.
Acid wash jeans was popular in the 90s. They probably had a good deal from the pant outlet to costume all their cast members. But no, it's such a fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a chance to rewatch this, but I watched it so recently. I was looking over my notes from it. Just look, there was nothing resembling good acting in this movie. Like when the guy got his hand bitten off by the chili monster. He really wasn't in pain. He just started drinking more. I seriously don't know how half these guys could continue walking and running based on how drunk they were.
It was a very punk film. Everyone's just fucking hammered and loud.
It was very DIY. I don't consider it a punk film. I consider Thrust a punk film. But no, again, this was so much fun. So what shall we talk about next week?
I chose that one, so I will defer.
Brian?
You know I don't like to pick.
All right, I will pick.
Okay.
I say we watch the Massage Parlor Murders.
Okay. That's solid.
Yeah, after listening to Sam Deegan's commentary on there, I am really, really appreciate this movie a lot more than I already do. But I'm excited to rewatch it without her commentary. All right, I want to vent on something. Who did not see the Martin release delayed? Who did not see that one coming? Does Second Sight ever get films out on time?
I think this is gonna be only my second one.
What?
I think this is only my second site.
This will be my third.
Okay.
First was Dawn of the Dead, which I had to buy on aftermarket. Second was Lake Mungo, which I know Brian loves. And this will be the third.
So that's something they're known for is delays and
yeah.
I'm trying to think. I own several Second Sight releases, and now some of them I've picked up in store. I can't remember any issue I've had with it, but I'm also trying to think if I've ordered from them directly. I think I have, but yeah, because I ordered a host through them.
They no longer ship to the United States. You know that.
When did that start?
I saw a YouTube video about it.
Huh.
You now have to buy it from
Well, I'll be
retailers.
damned. Okay.
yeah, just make sure you remember which one you pre-order it for. Don't do it.
Oh, you know what I do? I do remember now. The Witch that was held back for a long time. That took a while to get.
Somebody else was doing that too. Indicator maybe.
Well, yeah, I finally got my Santo set in on Thursday.
Yeah, they were saying that they must have started back up, but they were saying the like Royal Mail or whatever it's called was stopping shipments here until further notice, so they must have figured it out.
No, the Santo stuff was delayed from December to February. So was that massive movie set from that one guy that I've never heard of before. That was also delayed by several months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one should be here this week.
How long is it going to take you to watch that, Matt? In what year will you get to break that one open?
Maybe I'll break it open this week. They're pretty short, aren't they? Aren't they like real micro budget, like half-hour long movies or something?
I don't know. I didn't order it. It didn't seem interesting to me. And for that price tag, it was like I couldn't justify it.
It was on sale on one of them. I don't know if I got it from Diabolic or Grindhouse, but it was down to around 70, I think.
Yeah.
It ain't too shabby.
He's a filmmaker I'm unfamiliar with. The trailer didn't look that interesting. And there were more other things I would have rather bought at that time.
I'm hoping for like a Steckler experience with it. Just someone I've absolutely never heard of.
I find that weird that you've never heard of Steckler before.
Never. I've heard of that. I've heard the name of that really long movie, The Incredibly Strange Creatures, but
Who became mixed up zombies?
yeah, I never heard of the director.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Off my radar.
Huh. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. Hey, Brian, has that one label stopped producing movies? That SOV label that put out Sasquatch, Suburban Sasquatch?
Oh, Visual Vengeance. So last time I was in Grindhouse, I asked the guy that was there when we were supposed to be getting some new stuff, and he said that as far as he knew, that March they would be putting out a new title.
Oh,
I don't know what it is, but no, to my knowledge, they're still going. Because I specifically asked, I was like, man, I feel like it's been a little bit, and he didn't really give any details or nothing, but he said they had spoken to them and that they would be getting some more stuff in. So,
have they offered you a job there yet, Brian? One day a week to sweep the floors.
no, they haven't. I've even given the puppy dog eyes and everything. At all.
Do you come there with an application that you made yourself?
All right, sir, that'll be blah blah blah. Insert your card, and I just hand them a resume. Oh, what's that?
What is Grindhouse Chic? It is a very lowly rated podcast on YouTube where we talk about movies. So you're one of them. Yes. Yes.
yes.
But every time we say our name, we make people think of we make everyone think of Grindhouse Video.
There we go.
So I do have one complaint of the week, and I kind of want to get your opinion on it. So I ordered from Diabolic the Tough Ones Blu-ray, which is one of the Lenzi Milano films, and it came with a bullet pen, which they put in the packaging. When I got it, the disc was dislodged. It was dusty and scratched to hell. After I finally cleaned it, I put it in and didn't play. Should I reach out to Grindhouse Releasing to have them send me another disc?
I mean, yeah, if it doesn't work.
Okay.
You say the pen was in the packaging, like it was inside the case?
Yeah. And it somehow dislodged the first disc and scratched it up in transit.
Brian, can you get down there and clear this up?
No, it's not Grindhouse Video. Grindhouse.
Releasing.
Oh,
Yeah.
you said Diabolic, yeah.
Yeah.
That got me all geared up. I'm putting on my shoes. I'm like, fuck yeah, a reason to go. Yeah, I've been having, just speaking of discs coming out and shit, I keep having really bad luck with like anything that's like, 3 discs. Those trays and shit, it just doesn't seem like they're making them the same way. I keep getting discs fucking falling out when I open it and shit, and it pisses me off. Some of them I'm even scared to, shelf vertically. I'm just like, well, I'm just going to make sure it's in there and lay it down flat. And that way it doesn't wiggle its way out of there.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Are there any releases coming out this week that you're looking forward to?
I just ordered a bootleg of the Vomit Gore trilogy. I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, I saw your post from 3 a.m. this morning.
Well, I'm a third shift worker, man. That's my.
But I was also shocked that Matt was up at that time.
Yeah, I was up for a while.
As far as new releases go, I need to pay more attention. I guess I'm so like, I don't want to look all the time because I know I can't afford to buy as much as I normally do. So I'm like, I'll just kind of not pay that much attention for a little bit. I do, let's see, Matt, there was one in particular that I wanted. Oh, did you see that? And hell, it may already be out. The 4K of The People Under the Stairs.
Yep.
Shot Factory. Oh, did you already order it?
I didn't get it. No, that was one of the ones that was at Best Buy, and it was like $40, and even on Shout's site, it was significantly more than all their other 4K releases. So I was going to see if it was going to go
Oh,
down.
really?
Yeah.
I'm still leery of buying 4Ks from Shout Factory.
You're not trying to get some greased up movie.
No, it's just if Vinegar Syndrome and Severin can avoid off gassing, so can they.
Yeah.
So can they.
Yeah. For some reason, those Chucky ones are the only ones that I've ever seen that on.
Oh no, I had it on Red Dawn, Life Force, The Howling, Escape from New York. I'm almost to the point where I don't need to upgrade my Blu-rays. I just feel it's good enough.
Yeah, I keep thinking about how I want to like step away from Shout Factory, and um, I had an experience recently. Well, it's a couple months ago now, where I got the 4K of The Howling, and when I got it in the mail, the what was it? The case and the like plastic around the outside of the case that holds the um what is that? Just like the artwork that goes in it was fine, but the artwork inside of it was like completely ripped all the way up it.
Huh.
So I emailed them and was like, "Hey, this came like this. I don't even know how something like this would even happen. It must have like been like that from the factory or something or the warehouse, and it just got packaged anyway." I was like, "Is there any way you can just send me a new piece of artwork?" Um, and they sent it, and it looks like some guy at his house printed out on his like $20 Walmart printer. It's like not anywhere
No way.
quality. Yeah, it just looks like a piece of crap. And I'm like, am I supposed to email them again and say what's what's going on here?
That sucks.
Yeah. For as big of a company as they are, that's pretty inexcusable.
Are they even that big of a company anymore? All they do is seem to be re-releasing stuff, and the new stuff they put out is shit.
I think they're fucking big enough to be able to afford to give the dude a new insert.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
but I'm
Like-
talking about they're releasing the Jack Black Ben Stiller movie Envy.
Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck likes that movie? Finally. No, I mean, when Shout Factory started and Scream Factory started, they were putting out a lot of cool stuff. It has since dwindled down to 4K re-releases, the occasional new release, but most of it is just crap.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, back in 2012, 2013, they were the must-buy company. They were releasing all this great stuff, and now they've lost their status and are just releasing just some bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, they have mastered um the FOMO aspect of it as well, where they'll put those releases out that are limited to like 500, and they'll do it on their website only. So, it makes it seem more rare that you can only get it there. There's only this many, and people just gobble them up. And I've got a couple of them because they look interesting, but they're like, a $30 Blu-ray for one movie and a trailer. There's no special features, just as bare bones as it gets.
Yeah, I just saw they released Eat My Dust, which I am a fan of, but I have the DVD. I don't feel the need to spend double what I paid for it on Blu-ray just for a limited 500 copies of it.
I think this one was the last one I got from them. And it's a Roger Corman produced this Day the World Ended.
Oh.
It looked really cool, and then it was the same thing, super limited just on the site, and it's got nothing. it's still sealed, so maybe I'll try to conquer this one soon.
It's not worth it. Like I didn't watch the first movie on the Santos set, but I watched all the extras on the first disc, and I was really happy with all of them. I mean, everything was subtitled, but the first was the producer's daughter going to Havana. I'm sorry, the producer's granddaughter going to Havana to retrace his steps as he filmed the first Santos movie. Then with the second lead actor on there, an interview with him, and then a fabulous one talking about Santos's point in history, the lucha scene, and how Santo went from a Rudo to a Technico when he started making movies because the children loved him. Rudo is a heel, Technico is a face, and basically giving a historical insight to where these movies fell into his wrestling career.
Nice. Yeah, I'm interested to get into that. I still want to watch the one from Vinegar Syndrome. Yeah, I'm interested to get into some of those.
I mean, I prefer the Santo monster movies, which are found on that VCI, where all they had to do was do new dubs for it because all they had was the film. They didn't have the rights to the audio, which is weird. And I think the Vinegar Syndrome one is pretty good. I gotta admit, these Santo ones I'm not really excited about, because in the first one, Santo plays an undercover police officer. And how can you be an undercover police officer when you're wearing a silver mask?
That just makes him double undercover.
Who's this guy? He's called the Silver Mask. He's undercover, right? Yeah. So we can't find him? No, we can find him. He's wearing a silver fucking mask. All right.
So something random to bring up. I did go and watch Knock at the Cabin.
Yeah, how bad was it?
You know, honestly, I don't think it would have been. I enjoyed the film, honestly, and I do think I'll be in the minority. But I'll tell you right now, that is a absolute pure reason. God, I'm terrible at my words right now. The trailer spoils the entire fucking movie. Like, there's not even the staple M. Night Shyamalan twist in it. It's just like, no, it's the fucking trailer tells you every goddamn thing. And I think I would have enjoyed it more had I not seen the trailer and just went in completely blind. I don't think most people are going to enjoy it. As a matter of fact, all I'm seeing are negative reviews. I don't think it's that bad, but I tend to be the person who tries to find enjoyable moments out of stuff more than others. I think a lot of times people try to find like the errors in film. I'm kind of built the other way. I like to try to find like the good aspects first. I don't think it's terrible, but I definitely don't see it being a crowd pleaser.
A couple of people that I follow on Letterboxd are enjoying it.
Really?
I'll wait till it's on HBO Max. I still got to watch his last movie.
Ooh,
yeah,
Old's got to be the worst one.
Yeah.
Have you never seen The Village?
Yeah. Old, yeah.
I didn't have to see that movie to figure out what the twist was.
See, I'm in the minority. I love The Village. I hate The Sixth Sense. The Sixth Sense is like, oh, it's such a garbage movie in my opinion.
I agree with you. I figured out, if you watched a lot of the Twilight Zone growing up, you could figure out by the interactions that Bruce Willis wasn't having that he was already dead.
Mm.
Sorry if I just spoiled it for the one person out there who hasn't seen The Sixth Sense.
It's the one I haven't seen yet.
All right. On that note, we will be back next week as we talk about Massage Parlor Murders. We continue conquering our collection, and we have witty repertoire. Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. About the world of physical media collecting, and I might call out mid-level media again.
Oh no! What do you do now?
He just annoys me. He's the worst guy. Him and his wife do these videos where they add up how much he spent during the month.
I've seen some of those, yeah.
Matt's like chump change.
I didn't know this was amateur hour.
Matt has a secret Bitcoin wallet that he doesn't tell his wife about to buy movies.
Oh man, this was amateur. That's funny as hell.
So Matt, again, how many movies did you order during the February 14th sale?
I don't know, like 15, I don't know, 20. I'll look.
Who's counting, really?
I was pretty disappointed that we only got one 4K and there wasn't like an upgrade from another adult film to 4K. I mean, last year we got Madman and Dracula Sucks.
I got 20, and 5 of those were new ones. So yeah, 15.
What do you mean they were new ones? There were only 3 new ones released. Unless you're including the slipcover ones.
Yes, I did not have those before, so those were new to me.
And that's how we end this week, with Matt saying it's new to me. Hopefully it won't take him 6 years to watch any of those movies.
Well, this week we're watching one. Off to a great start.
Well, you didn't own Massage Parlor Murders before?
I have the Blu-ray, yeah, but I've never watched it.
I will say there's one thing that kind of pissed me off about the 4K upgrade is it didn't come with the booklet that the Blu-ray had. I think Vinegar Syndrome needs to do more of those booklet things for their releases.
Yeah, that would be nice. I feel like they're one of the only ones who don't for the boutiques.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, occasionally they do. I mean, for the VSUs, we get it. Oh, by the way, I started watching Sidekicks and I couldn't make it past 15 minutes in it.
Doesn't hold up.
I don't know. I was just so busy with work. I just couldn't watch it. I'm off this week, so I'll try to watch it when I'm not doing shows. So
Nice.
I'm excited. I remember enjoying that movie. I thought it was the movie where Chuck Norris sold out. But I mean, from going from the Octagon to some of his from all of his early films to this, it was like, when did you stop being a man, Chuck Norris? When did you want to be a kid's film? You see what it did for Schwarzenegger when he made The Last Action Hero?
You probably saw the success that Terry Hogan had.
Who?
You heard me, Terry Hogan.
His name is not Terry Hogan, it's Hulk Hogan. And there was no success with Suburban Commando.
Oh, there was.
Oh, yeah. That's why I don't like mid-level media. He said that's a movie that needs to be released on Blu-ray and 4K. I'm like, no, it doesn't. That movie deserves to be forgotten. Hulk Hogan, beside Over the Top, not Over the Top, No Holds Barred, his movies were complete and utter shit, not including Rocky 3. We only made a cameo as Thunderlips. He took the shittiest offers to make movies on. Those movies deserve to be forgotten.
There's one that you're forgetting.
What am I forgetting?
Hold on, Mr. Nanny. Classic.
No, I'm
Oh
not.
God.
I'm not forgetting it. I prefer The Rock's remake of it, The Nanny, or whatever he called it, where he played a nanny, or did he play a tooth fairy? I don't remember.
Tooth Fairy.
Those are some dark parts of The Rock's movie career. Before we go, what do you guys think of the Super Bowl movie trailers? Guardians look sweet. The Flash looks sweet.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped for the Flash. I hope it's better than the last thing they did, which was Shazam, or not Shazam, Black Adam. And the effects were just awful, awful, awful.
Man, I really wanted to like Black Adam because it features some of my favorite characters in the DC universe. It had Hawkman, it had Atom Smasher, it had Dr. Fate. Basically, this was a Justice Society movie without the entire Justice Society.
Yeah. I'm pretty worried about Guardians though. It might be the shining light in these, but I feel like Marvel they need to take a year off. Rethink some things.
I don't know. I mean, Phase 4 was kind of mishmash, but as Kevin Feige said, it was kind of like a breather before they get to the main story.
Well, I was single-handedly expecting Paul Rudd to save the MCU, and not off to a good start.
I think this, again, I haven't seen it, but I think this movie is doing what it's meant to do to set up Secret Wars.
One day.
I mean, it feels like Phase 5 already started with Spider-Man No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness, because that's what we're going to get for the next couple of years. We're going to get the multiverse. I think Deadpool 3 is going to play a lot into it.
Yeah.
But no, I'm excited, but I'm also more excited for the DECU film slate. It's DCEU film slate.
Yeah, well now it's James Gunn renamed it the DCU.
Okay. Man, they're doing the Authority. That's all that fucking matters.
Yeah.
Which is one of my favorite comics. It's gonna piss a lot of people off. All right, guys. We will see you next week. Don't forget to hit subscribe, like, share. If we do, Brian will be very indebted to you. We'll come over and beg you, or say thank you. He'll come over and say thank you.
I could do that.
That's nice.
You just have to pay
That'd
for
be
his
pretty
ticket.
nice.
You just have to pay for his ticket.
Oh yeah, God.
Yeah.
I'll even crash there. Hell, I'll even eat some of your food.
Yeah,
I might stay a while.
But first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a poop in your toilet. I know that's rude, but I traveled a long way to get here. All right, guys. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.